Hi there, it's Colin from My Renewable Life. In the video today we're going to be going through a build of a DIY worm composter. Difference with this composter is that we're not actually going to be using it for composting food, but it's for composting our dog's poo. I think everyone knows the waste and the amount of waste dog poo can make. We always throw it into landfills, but this is obviously something I wanted to try out just to see how effectively the worms can compost poo. So this is basically everything you need for the whole build. We've got a 50 or 40, I think a 45 litre tote. 30 litre tote is the main structure. We need one bag of red wigglers, so they're the specific composting worms. I think we got, the guy said there was about 1,500 plus minus in this. Just a pack of circular saws just to make holes, the required holes we need. Of course you need a drill, pretty straightforward. Just some strong adhesive or some strong glue. And then actually just to start the composter off is just some cut up newspaper and cardboard, pretty straightforward. Just to walk you through what we're going to be going through. So the main structure, this is basically going to be the bottom tray that all the worm juice falls down into. This is going to be the main top structure that's going to sit obviously above where the tray and all the worm juice falls down into. This is where we're going to hold all the worms. This is where we're going to put obviously all the scraps, the newspaper, cardboard in there. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the drill with the circular saw, go in, drill some holes at the bottom of the actual tote just for the drainage of the worm juice. And then we're going to drill air holes around the actual composter itself. Obviously the worms need the air, but we don't want any bugs getting in there, we don't want any light getting in there, and then the material is going to cover those holes. So yeah, basically that's all of it. We're going to go through it step by step and show you how I did it. Cool, so the first thing we're going to start with is our newspaper cardboard strips. We're going to be soaking these for about 15-20 minutes. We're going to then drain and actually squeeze all the actual water out. It just needs to be moist. This is going to be the start of the actual container. Then we're going to put the worms down, we're going to put more of this in, and then we're going to add waste on top of that. But you can have a look. So this is obviously just all the scraps and stuff. So we're going to chuck that back in here. I've mixed all the cardboard around. I'm just going to pour some water in here to soak it. And let it soak for about 20 minutes or so. Just to get nice wet, and that's it in there. Just let it soak. We can let it soak for 20 minutes or so. Cool. Next thing we're going to be doing is drilling all the holes in the main container for the drainage from actually the worm juice itself. And you see how my dog's playing in the background there. What I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start drilling the holes in the base of the top bin. So obviously, like I was saying, all the worm juice, once it drains down into the lower tote. So it obviously just separates it. We're going to be drilling, it's about a 6mm drill. Doesn't have to be super big. I'm still going to put a bit of cloth down at the bottom just so any castings and worms kind of don't get through. But yeah, always I think the big thing is just drill through the most lowest points where the juice is obviously likely to go. But yeah, so just gonna pick it up. Cool, so I finished drilling. I'll show you quickly basically. I'm not sure if you can see, I've obviously just put holes in all the lower parts in the bin. Pretty straightforward. Cool, so now we're going to just drill the side air holes in for the top part. Just got a circular saw. I wouldn't say it's bigger than, I don't know, 32mm or 38mm. The material I'm going to be covering with was actually not as, a bit more obviously thicker material, so I've just gone for a wider hole and I could do more holes, but if you had something thinner, you just don't want it too thin that there's too many bugs coming in. So I'm going to do it just below here, and then on the inside I'm going to stick the specific material in the mountain. But yeah, let's cool. And then we're just going to do, so you can have a look there. That's obviously the hole. And then just from the inside, we'll cover it up with the material. Okay, cool. Now you can see I've made the air holes on both sides. I'm just going to take a box cutter and just cut all the loose pieces off on the inside, just to give it a really nice flat surface when I glue the, obviously the porous material on to bring it through the air. Cool, so all of these are done. I've cleaned up obviously the inside from when the circular saw is cut into it, just obviously to help it glue. And then I've cut 6 obviously pieces just to stick on the inside of shade cloth. I think I said a little bit in the other video that this is obviously a thicker shade cloth, so that's why I've made bigger, more holes. If you have not something that's not as thick, you can obviously add less, as long as it's not too thin that bugs can come in. But I'm going to put glue on the inside and then just stick it on basically. Okay, so I've glued the inserts there, as you can see, obviously covering the holes just with some adhesive. Maybe try get one that dries quicker. Mine was took a bit of time, but it seems to be good now. Basically what I've done is I've just drained all the stuff off the newspaper cardboard mix, just trying to really get as much of the water out of it, just to keep it kind of moist. I'm going to squeeze all of that out, and then just going to make just an insert to sit at the bottom of the holes there, just to cover the holes at the bottom, just to protect any other kind of worm castings and stuff from falling down. Basically just lay this on top, cut all the way around, and that's going to sit at the bottom. You can't really see it, but yeah, that's going to sit at the bottom there, just before we put on the actual cardboard paper, cardboard box. Cool, as you can see we've got the inserts covering the holes. We've got just another bit of material on the bottom just to help no worms or castings to go through. Basically what we're going to do now is we're going to take this damp newspaper cardboard box mixture and just lay a layer of it at the bottom. Just chucking on the rest of this. Trying to get a nice thick layer. One thing I realised is I think I only cut enough. Obviously it looked like enough when it was dry, but it looks like I'm going to cut some more for the next layer. So now that I've spread the layer down, I'm going to basically just throw the worms in. Okay, so I'm going to now put the worms in. Those are all our little workhorses. Okay, so I've just done another batch of this, and this is just embedding to go on top of the soil where the worms are. I've drained it all out, it's just nice and moist. And now I'm just going to scatter another layer of it just across the top just a nice, just to keep some moisture, hold some moisture, somewhere for them. Don't worry, the worms will end up eating the cardboard and the paper. Okay, it's not a thick layer, but just enough. Get the last of it. So now we've added obviously the extra bedding. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load a thin layer of poo, or if you were doing food scraps, it would be food scraps, onto the bedding. I'm not going to overdo it, just because obviously these guys are probably been disrupted a little bit. But yeah, just going to lay it, some of it across. And now going forward it is going to be much easier because I'm just going to do a poop scoop. I'm just going to chuck it straight on. Everything's sorted now. Added a bit on it. It might look disgusting, but hopefully turn into some nice worm castings. I'm probably not going to be using the worm castings for herbs or edible plants, more decorative kind of plants to add to their soil and stuff. But yeah, at least all the dog poo going forward hopefully will be composted, and I will just be tracking how it goes. So yeah, cool. First little try with poo composting. Should be interesting. Definitely going to set up a food one as well. And probably, yeah, excuse the haphazard filming. Bit of a first try. Cool. Peace.